Thank you so much for joining us today. Now, the 2023 UN Habitat Summit has actually been very successful. So what are the positives that you're taking from this assembly?
Yes, I'm very, very happy with the deliberation of the UN Habitat Assembly so far. First is that in terms of the overall participation of the member state compared to the 2019. In 2019, we have 124 member states, 124 countries were attended, and in 2023, 137. And for the ministers who attended in 2019 during our first UN Habitat Assembly was only 56, but now 87. So, and the total total delegates in 2023 is 5,000 plus, over 5,000, whereas in 2019 is only 2,000. That is in terms of the participation. And at the same time, in terms of the overall running of the ini is truly inclusive, truly concentrate, aligned with the theme of the Habitat Assembly, and overall I'm very satisfied.
So when you talk about racing against time, during the opening ceremony you mentioned that countries are really racing against time. And when you focus on SDG 11, do you think that countries will be able to beat the 2030 deadline?
Yeah, when we prepared the concept notes on the theme of the Habitat Assembly is on the how efficient and effective multilateralism in terms of sustainable urbanization, sustainable development in the time of the global crisis to achieve the SDG. In 5 areas that we put up for the discussion. One on adequate housing, second is on the climate change, third is on the localization of SDG, fourth is on the urban crisis, fifth is on finance. This is the first time that since 1948 that resolutions on housing for all is proposed to be adopted. I think because for us, when you link between housing and climate change, and then this is the first time also that when the Universal Declaration of Human Rights was adopted and member state is renewing their call on housing. Why I start with housing? Because without a roof above your head, without the, for us in UN Habitat, housing is not only the 4 wall, we're building home, building community. So when we have housing, then we will have all these facilities like basic services, like water, electricity, and then the health, and then the culture and employment. Then within that, and another one is also in terms of this planning and regulation. So the climate change need to be integrated with the sustainable urbanization.
And finally, the COVID-19 pandemic has affected the UN Habitat budget. How are you coping with this?
Yes, that's the reason why we put finance and prosperity as one of our priority when we put together our concept note for the executive theme paper for this assembly. Because just like, for example, you buy a very good, powerful car, but without a gas, without a fuel, you cannot move far. So we have a lot of strategy, a lot of policy, a lot of guideline, but without finance, you will be nowhere. So that's why finance, investment, and localization, the importance of the local actors, either they are mayors, either they are communities or private sector is important. So that's why during this Habitat Assembly, we also bringing in the business roundtable, bringing in the business, may it the bank, a development bank, a World Bank, or the developers, even the professional, the architect, the planners, the engineers, looking into how we can finance a new mechanism to finance urban agenda.